Okay. Get some tools out. Just gonna leave those for the moment. This is kind of going against some of the usual advice for lubricating the bearings. They tell you not really on the ends or on the sides like that, but I can see just a tiny little gap where with such a small little tip like this I can get it to squeeze under and ultimately get right up into the track. Since obviously I can also take this off, but this would not really be that great. It needs to be a little bit smaller diameter to do it that way. But this seems to work, because I can definitely feel a difference in the friction, because once you grease a bearing it gets a little bit of like a friction feel, for lack of a better term. Some people think that it's a good idea not to do this, or to use a lighter weight, or, you know. Personally, I think it will make all the difference of the world, because it means those bearings are not going to wear out so easily. And you can get it to go right up in there. Nice and slow. Notice it's not budging up in the front there. That means the balls are picking it up, and now I can feel that's doing a lot better. They didn't seem to have any oil on them from the factory, so that saved me a bit of time doing that. I probably could have done most of this prep beforehand, but I figured I'd let you guys at least see this aspect. There we go. That's one. This is just prepping two of the rails that it called for right off the bat. And notice it goes a lot easier before you lube them. That means there's probably just a hint of preload on them. And then just move it slow so that it kind of squeezes under it. A little bit squeezing out there on the side, that's fine. Side, and you can see there's just a tiny little gap, not much, but that's all you need if you can get just the right amount of pressure on it and keep it moving at the same time. I don't think you can get away with this on big rails, but big rails usually have a much better fill hole for the grease. And as you can see, a little bit of that is coming out on the front. Let me see if I can get that where you can see it. See that? That means it's getting up onto the balls, which is what we want. That's it. That's those two rails greased. And you'll notice now they don't just necessarily just drop. What you want is even linear motion. And then just clean out that so you don't get a bunch later So now we get a couple of the E extrusions. That's these bad boys. Just do. There we go. Get a couple of these. I think I like this way better because look at this. I mean, they do have some little tape on there, which I suspect you probably don't have to peel off because it'll stay on the inside of the extrusion. But I would put this with the little captain tape side down, because this way when it pulls you can see it's got a wider catch on the bottom and it's going to be pulling upward. That one. Okay. Now, this is where I can move these a little bit out of the way. The other one here for now. This is just so that it doesn't go anywhere, but it also doesn't block me. Right, and those are the ones. So that's our M2 6 socket head screws. To start off. And yes, these are slightly magnetized. Now, when you're doing the printed parts, it might not be a bad idea to make a note. Make 2 of these, if not more, because they will help you with alignment of the rail, getting it center to the extrusion. There we go. Right, that's our little thing there. Now, let me just look at said documentation. Yeah, because I've got the Voron Build guide up on there. So. Okay, so that goes that way. Alright, so I'll go this way with them for the moment. And just gotta watch out for that. What was that measurement again? So this is our 38mm side. Right, so this is our little tool that I printed out. I got this on printables, which makes it quite useful. And I did actually check it with regard to this aspect. Actually, it's this side. There we go. That's 58 actually. And just so you can see what I'm measuring, they want you to go 38mm. So that's 38mm. So ideally, and I'll just check it against this. 7, 8. Alright, let's check that. It's right against there, and that's where we want to tighten it down. That's that one. That's that one. Now let's get over to this one. Same thing. And what you want is the back of the tool directly against the end of the extrusion. There just went something. Lord knows what. Oh, I see. One of the pieces of extrusion. That was one of the J4s. Or J's. No big deal. But yeah, so you can see there, that is flush to this. You can probably even use like this. Perfect. You can also, you'll notice there's a little hole here in the tool. That will line up right with that. So you could actually take that. Okay. Nope, not that one. Oh, okay. I actually thought that one would have lined up. I guess this is probably one that it's different for each kit. Yeah, it stops there. But we are 38 millimeters. Lock that right in place. And now that'll be dead center where it needs to be. And we can just double check just to be sure. Just a little bit. Where's my eyes playing with me? Yep, just a tiny bit. I must have missed by a little bit, but not by much. Yep, it was my eyes playing with me. Yeah, it was my eyes playing with me. Okay. It's the problem with getting old, people. Your eyes are the first one to lie to you. Now, that's those prepped. Let's see what is next. Okay. So that's that done. I have a feeling those are going to end up being the y-axis. Might as well, yeah, it's suggesting that I go ahead and populate those screws anyway. Using my little Intel Nook to obviously read these in the sight. Sometimes it gets a little sluggish. So apologies if I'm slow. This is one of those, if you take your time, you won't be going back and doing it twice, or having to take the machine half apart because you missed a step or you didn't get something quite aligned. Don't expect this to be a build it in one night thing. especially if this is your first, you know, build yourself. Now, yes, you can obviously put one in every single hole. I have a tendency to do like every other, realistically. Doesn't always exactly work in every case, but yeah. So that's... Aha. See, I knew there was going to be one that went just a little off because of that odd number. Yeah, that's what's throwing it. So let's put that one as well. And for now, just gonna see if they suggest the same thing. Yeah, okay. So they said you can, or you can do like every other one. Alright, heck with it. Let's go ahead and fill them up. Never hurts to have a nice strong thing, and they seem to have quite a large number of these. I mean, there's 78 of them. Go. I might just speed this up so that certain sections don't get overly dull for people. I know some will find this quite relaxing to watch a build. Take it in one step at a time. Others will be hitting the fast forward every few seconds. Now to just make sure. This is how I tighten things to a degree. This way you can kind of get an idea. So I don't want to over tighten them. You don't want to under tighten them either. It's still got some. There we go. You can also do it like this, where it'll just a little bit of a twist in it, but hopefully not enough to cause it to slip. And there we go. That's those done. Alright, so let me put these away, this extra one away. Okay, and I'm just going to grab me a drink, because as you may have seen, I'm starting to cough a bit. Air's a bit dry today. So, back in a moment. Okay, you know, one of these days I might actually get myself one of those little overhead hangers for a camera. Anyway, just a few more things that I'm going to do on here. So, we've got a couple of stops from your printed parts. Now, I know FYSETC actually did an instruction video. That was for building this, the V0.2, 1.0, I believe, kit. And there's only minor differences between this kit and the 1.0. So we needed the M3 8mm button head cap screw, and we needed some M3 nuts. Those first ones that you saw that were being used were our M2 6mm. Those are socket head cap screws. All of this will be also detailed in the Voron assembly guide. There were some differences. This is why you see tags on things, because they named the tagging a little bit different. They actually split up, you know, the aspect of this for the top hat and so forth. But anyway, that's another time. So now we just got to get that in there. That in there, and I can see now why they used this type of extrusion. Perfect for that type of thing. That'll be this one. So let me just flip that over. There we go. There. And this. We'll just butt up right against the bottom of that rail and just tighten it snugly. And now that one. Apologies if you can hear the fan of that other printer I've got behind, but I think a lot of people know that I'm always telling everybody I've got only a little bit of workspace in that regard, so it kind of limits what I can do as far as noise. Okay, now looking at this, I think I can probably let that little cap out. Right, back to the guide. Right. So we're going to get our other two. So we're going to put these back aside. And I probably should have kept that little label, but I think we now know what's what. I think I'm just to be safe, I'm going to throw another label on that, because I know how my head is. Never hurts to have plethora of these little labels, if I'm bluntly honest. So that's our C. There we go. Now, we would like, that was the E, or no, these were the E's, darn it, this was E. I had to look again. Now we want two C profiles, which are these two bad boys here. Right, and those are solid sides. This is where we're going to do the other two rails. I'll just go ahead and come back to that aspect for you. This way you don't have to watch me grease some rails twice. So back in a moment. Okay, that's rails now greased appropriately. Let's see if I can give you a better view of the table there. Sorry about that before. So here's our E rails. They said basically in the guide, pretty much follow the same as this, but with a slightly different distance. And this is why this tool is brilliant. And I've just highlighted it in so that maybe you might be able to see, you know, all the detail. I didn't print it in color. It's just something I would use. Okay, so these are the two C rails. And we'll do the same thing. I want them this way. Now that's a little bit better there. Yeah, okay. And that one, yeah, need to do that one a bit more. Sorry about this. Just caught me off, but I've gotten quite good at doing these pretty quickly. I can feel that starting to go up in there. Does that one have the same little bit of gap? No, it doesn't. So, sorry about this, people. Apologies. Go, that's one. Effectively, you want to get past the little cap on the end is what the gist of this is. Because once the balls hit it, they'll track it up. But if that little end cap scrapes it, forget it. See, now it doesn't just easily slide off. Most linear rails, and you've probably seen several videos about this if you've built before, that they come with a little bit of light oil in some cases just to keep them from rusting. These were in the sealed bags. They didn't have any oil, so didn't have to predominantly clean them, which is a bonus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that will probably be for, that would be probably if you're going to use extrusion for one of the axes, like the x-axis. And again, I'm gonna do it like that. That's one. Actually, darn OCD. There. Oops. That needs to flip over actually. Okay, now that way. That's it. Okay. Now, push this in a little bit. This time I'm going to make this easier myself and just notch it in one. But I must admit, this is my first Voron build that is going by a guide. Because everything else I've done has been my own little ideas, as per se. Now we need them ones again, the M2 6mm socket head cap screw. There we go. Didn't you know I dropped that? There we go. Got him. Those actually. That's it. Right, that's one. Now, this time, it's 33mm from the end, so we're going to use this side. And I finally realized what the gap was for. This way, you can basically do like that. This just to make sure that it stays nice and centered while tightening this down. That's it. That's it. Same thing here. So again, 33mm side. exactly 33 millimeters. So just so you can see that. .33 millimeters. Brilliant little tool. Check it though when you print it, because if your printer is off as far as its dimensional accuracy, that will come out wrong. You will get that wrong. Now, this little tool here is not one that comes in the kit or in the GitHub for it. Just as again, this was on printables, and I will put a link to the download for that for those that would prefer to have that tool. Pretty much the rest of these, except for this one as well. These two here were from printables, and if I remember correctly, they might have both been made by the same person. But definitely useful little tools. Now, I think I'm pretty much done with those, unless something else comes up. Oh yeah, I still need to use them for, yeah. But that one's not as bad, but anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Now, let's go ahead and get the rest of these screws in. Yeah, it would be nice if I had bigger workspace or nice big studio, but I think kind of the garage mechanic is where I kind of fall in. You know, I'm the proverbial guy that just does his own little thing most of the time. And if I needed a little bit of room, I make enough room to do whatever I'm working on at the time. There we go. That's looking keen. Looks like I'm going to need a few more of these though. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to need 2 more. This is actually a really good kit. Everything is nice. And yeah, it would be nice if you had your own PTFE in it, but that's that. That one. Now, I know there's people that can speed build these. I think in something like 20 hours is one estimation I heard somebody say that it takes to build one of these. I think it takes longer than that, because if you figure in all your printing, if you didn't get a kit with the printed parts, or if you have to work, you know, you should really just take your time. Don't necessarily race to do it all in one go, yeah? because you can make mistakes. Yeah. Okay, so that's those two done there. Alright, what's the next bit? So I have a feeling these don't need to have okay. Okay, so just going to pause this again and back to you in a moment because I want to properly read the next section. Okay, as expected, just like the other rails, you have your printed parts, which will include your little stops at the end of the rails. Yep, there's one more for that axis there, which is good. So a couple more of those. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Yep. And we need our M3 8mm button head. Two of those. Two of these. Now, I think this particular build, I'll do synopsises of it, like snippets, on some of my other social media channels. But there are limits on other other platforms which prevent me from doing big long ones. So big thank you to YouTube for making it possible to do ones like this, even for somebody like me who really isn't one of the big popular people. Maybe someday I'll be big and popular, but who knows. Alright. Here is... Yep. Learn to put your tools back. Definitely learn to put the tools back when you're done with them. There's that. And then oops. Go. That's good. Okay, that's those done. So put those away. Let's just have a look again at Mr. Guide. Oh, actually, looks like I messed up. These actually go on this end. Okay. So it's not exactly following the other guide. In other words, they said, you know, it's basically like this, but I misread that. So this goes here on this end. Right. That's one. And with these type of extrusions, regular M3 nuts work just as good as a T-nut. You know, like the drop-in ones, or even your hammerheads. That is very cost-effective. I actually like that quite substantially. Okay, now that's correct. Okay, now let's see what we got next. Okay, so now we get to start with some of the B profiles. Okay, so we need 6 of the M3, 6 of these M3 nuts. Well, you're definitely not going to lose these. These bags are like, there we go. Oh, if I had gotten exactly 6 on that, I would have been shocked. And then for the M3 6mm. Is that button heads? Yeah, those are button heads. So this time, 3 of these and 6 of those. Right. And we want 2 of the B profiles. So, right, where are your B's? These are our B profiles, so I want 2 of these. That makes that a little easier to manage. And I want those. 2 in there, and 4 in the other. Oops, come here. Go. Now, I'm going to put these 2 kind of half in there. Yeah. Don't tighten them down as a point. Okay, so kind of want these in about here. I'm pretty sure it said 3. Just going to go back a page or 2 to what it says I need. Okay. That's why it never hurts to double check. 4 of these. So I needed one more. Okay. I thought I misread something there. There was M36s. M36s. Alright. They do actually say to read through the entire thing, but sometimes trying to remember 200 and I think it's 235, 236 pages of an entire build. You can kind of remember some of it, but not all of it. Right. Just enough to get them to stop moving, I suppose. Okay, so our next step okay, so I need some M3 10 millimeters, and those go in the ends. That goes on there so I keep track of things. That's 1, 2. Now, for those that are not familiar with what they do on these, it's not all about the 90-degree angle brackets that you use to strengthen up everything. They attach everything through what's called a blind joint, and you'll see how that works today, or whenever you watch the video. Because this is really kind of clever, this concept. I don't know if you can necessarily get away with this with V-slot, because realistically the profile just isn't made as strong. And yep, I just lost the nuts because I didn't tighten them down well enough. What a numpty. Right, I'm going to pause it and go find the other one. Back in a few. Okay, now that that little panic session is over, I did find it. It ended up dropping in the box down below. But yeah, like I was saying, the line joints they do by letting the head of the item go in to the groove, and because of that, as you can see, this is what you would kind of call T-slot, because it makes a T instead of a V on the top, and ideally it's the best kind for this kind of joint if you can get it to lock in correctly. Right, now, which ones are we going to use next? Get back to the page, because, well, yeah, it took me a better part of 5 minutes or more to finally figure out where that last bolt went. I found one of them was right on top. Okay. Okay, so I need to get which extrusions go on that. Okay, so these are actually, right, I see. Okay, so this is actually going to become our little z-axis. So, with that in mind, let's get this. So this is our C, which I can now put that sticker away. And we would like, we don't have to align anything just yet. So I need to kind of slightly loosen that up again. And just so you can see how this works, and hopefully without me dropping it out the end again, these go right like that, up and through, and you'll see there's a hole that you can tighten that bolt with. Yeah, so we're gonna just snug that up, and there, we did it again. There we go. There, at least this time it only took me about 2 minutes to find everything. But needless to say, yeah, so there's our little thing. Now see, if I had been doing like this where you can't stinking see it, then it wouldn't have mattered, would it? And nothing would have dropped out. But maybe I didn't plan this as well as I probably could have for making this video. Or video set, if you will, because obviously this is not just something I do in an hour or two. This is one of those, it's going to take some time, and especially trying to give some extra tuition as to what is going on and where and so forth. Okay, so that's one. Now at this point we don't need to really determine the position yet. And at least with this semi-locked down, those cannot escape again. So probably should have done that first, really, and then showed you. But lesson learned. I'm learning to show people how to do things, and of course how not to do things. So let's go ahead and bring that up where you can see it this time. So there's our two initial little nuts. As you can see, there's little holes that let us reach the button head screws down below, which now lock this into place, and I can clearly see this is going to become our Z-axis that holds the bed, which is quite clever. Alright, and I suspect this is going to go up here now. Check out the manual. Yes, that other one will become the other part of the Z-axis, and that locks the top together. Okay, so let's do that. Except for it looks like we need some extra preloads, because this is one of the things you have to preload your additional nuts. So on the back side of here, I think I am going to have to set up a better camera for some of this. Anyway, so in the back of here we need to preload some extra nuts. Let me just have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 of these. Potentially. But I'm going to just do them one step at a time. I think I'm trying to get ahead of myself after that first bit. So 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 in that one. And how many in the other one? If any. So 3 in the other one as well. Okay, so 3 more M3 nuts. 1, 2. Now, I just finished work not long ago, so it is starting to get a little on the late side here, so I'm probably not going to get too far with this. That should give us a little bit better light, so that my old eyes can deal with this. Yeah, as I thought. And then this will lock these in place. And again, there's our little holes that let the line joints do their job. And there we go. We have a Z-axis. So, let's move these up. Let's see what else is next. Put our tools away. Okay, so we want H. Where are you? H profile. Put that over there. And that, I see, is going to lock on the sides. Okay, so this is the neat part. Hold on a second. Ah, the holes have to be facing outward, otherwise you can't tighten these. I think I'd like to get that in just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Now, these definitely will need to be squared. There's no question in my mind about that. Which I will get out my tool of choice for that. when it's time, because I don't usually leave that sitting out. That's one. Go. And this one. Probably could have done with doing like this, just a little bit tighter. Yeah, definitely a little bit more. So yeah, this is the first time I've put together something that used this type of joint instead of bolting through the extrusions. So I find it quite interesting. Just gonna utilize this for a second. This is one of the uses for this tool, because it'll help you get these corners square. Again, when you print this, your printer does need to be dimensionally accurate. Tolerance is everything on this particular thing, and if you need to measure it, compare it against the model, even if you like, print out several of them. Now, FYSETC also does a tool for doing extrusion as a point. It's all metal, really good for making sure that these are square in every regard. That one. And as you can see, it's got a hole in the side so that you can access the bolt that is under there that locks everything in place. There we go. That is that. Right, what do we got? This is where we finally get to do the alignment of this, I have a feeling. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to read this section and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got one last thing on this, and then it looks like it moves away from the Z-axis, and it's our last little stop that we use. One of these M3 8mm button head. You know, that's just not impressing me now. But I found it. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I think my brain is starting to definitely get tired, and probably is starting to say, hey, you know, if you keep dropping stuff, people will watch you just so they can laugh. Alright, so I'm gonna play it safe here, and we're gonna put that in there. And that is that. And that, if I'm right, yay, that means I can finally put the last of those in there realistically. You know what, I'll just leave that in there for now. And that is our Z-axis completely done. So I think I'll pick up from this probably tomorrow after I've had a good night's sleep. I hope you've all enjoyed laughing at me. I mean, watching me build a printer. I'll try to be a little less dropsy tomorrow. I think it is because I've been up all day. But yeah, definitely get yourself one of these, or, you know, preferably engineer square. You can also use this to do your measurements, as you can see, because you can go from here to the 58mm or whatever it is. This is just easier, but this will guarantee your, you know, double checking of everything. I think if I remember correctly, I got that either off, it might have been Temu, it might have been eBay, if I can find the link for it still, and they still have them available. Otherwise, I'll see if, you know, if anybody comments and said, hey, where can I get one of those that's proper, you know, give me a comment, and I'll dig out some links and reply. Okay, well, I hope you've at least enjoyed this so far. I know I am, even though it doesn't sound like it. But with that, we shall see you all in the next round. Okay, after a good 24-hour fight with a bad cold, still a little bit sniffly, so apologies. We're back and ready to continue the build of the Voron 0.2 R1 Pro version 1.1. So obviously carrying on, our next step, the bed carriage. So got a couple of items here. I'm just going to unpack them, but only the things that we need for the moment. These bolts. I got this, which I'm going to need a part from. These items here. These are our Wagyu connectors. There we go. That is some of the little things we're going to come back to those later. There we go. That's the bed, and that will go on there like that. So getting that ready. We'll just put that in there so it's ready. And to start us off, we're going to go ahead and do some of the other part first here. So we have our other little Z stop, which here one of these is for this. Let's just go ahead and figure out which one that is. Give me a moment, because I just want to have it out and ready. Okay, there's our Z in stop. So I'll have that ready as well. Okay, now I can put these away for now. Now we have some items that I need to put some heat inserts, which are also in this kit. There are a few here, and it's only the 2 for the moment, so get 2 of these out. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to just find And I probably should have prepared better. My little heat insert kit. There it is. Okay. There we go. Now I think I've got a spot over there for a plug. Good stuff. I've got one over here actually as well. So this is my heat insert kit as per se. It's got all, you know, basically the soldering iron that I use for it. Just gonna pause this while I grab the little bits that go on the end of that. Okay, got my little Mentian heat insert kit. And I need this little bit, and I need the one, those are M3, so I need that one, I believe. There we go. Alright, just pull this little thing out. Now, obviously, I haven't turned it on yet, but here's the trick of this. Okay, so I'll take the soldering tip off. This is where we put heat insert tip carefully on there, and then screw that down. There we go. This goes into there. Turn this on, and 230 should work fine enough for ABS. Now that should start heating up. Yep, very quickly. Leave that right about there for the moment. I'll just wait for that to heat up. Okay, looks like it might be hot now. So now just these got to go just enough. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect temperature for that. And just slightly below the surface, not much. And just a little bit further. There we go. Nice, nicely done with the little Mentian kit. That'll be all of those for the moment. So safely unplug this. And I'll just sit that over here out of the way in a safe place. Okay. Now, that's that done. Is there any other of these that I need to do? Okay, so that's the only ones I need to worry about. Good. Okay, so moving forward, PDF says that I guess I do need to pull these out, which I thought I'd be doing those later, but hey ho. Okay, guide says do it now. I do it now. Okay. Just need to get these little connectors and that. Put that back in its little baggie. I'm liking these concepts of these. These are high power Wagyu connectors. And I'm like, I think I need to get some more of these just for my own tool sets. Because I've looked at them over and how they work. I was like, yeah, this is actually quite good. Alright, so according to the instructions, this goes in here. There we go. That's that one. Nice snug fit. That's that one. And then this apparently slides right in here. Oop, that's a bit tight. There we go. Nice and snug. That is definitely going nowhere. That's it. Right. Now they're saying there's some self-tapping screws, I believe, that I need to get my hands on. Which ones are they? Oh, no, maybe I'm wrong. M36 button head. Okay. Yay, M36 button head. So I must be thinking of the self-tappings for, because it's for that. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't do this and carry this on from when I started because I was definitely struggling a little bit. Actually, I don't take this out of here. That's out of here because this came with the bed. Now, this is one of the interesting parts that I haven't touched on in the video so far. According to the user guide, there's a couple of different ways to do the bed on these, and the traditional would have used these 3 pieces of extrusion, G and F. Yeah, these we can actually put away. We won't be using these now. If I ever want to move to them, they are included to the kit. It will require about 3 more printed parts, but for now I'm just going to put those off to the side so I don't get distracted with them. But that is basically because there's also a kit that comes with what's called a kirigami bed. It's like a 1-piece sheet metal, and I've not seen a lot of nice things said about them, but they flex. They have a tendency to not work really well for the purpose. So I'm kind of glad that this one came with this nice, tooled out CNC bed. That looks rather rigid. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. So with that, let's go ahead and get this. Again, apologies for my sniffles, but at least my head's working a little better today. If I had tried to do this the other day, I'd have been messing up left, right, and center. Let me just push that back a little bit further, if it will. Just a wee bit. That is nice and snug. Is that all the way back? Yeah, okay, that's all the way back now. There we go. Okay. And then you just lock this in place like that. Now there's a mod that lets you use this along with another part, but that'll be in one of my future videos. That is quite useful for this, especially when it comes to air circulation and that. Let's just have a look here. I have to keep waking the PC up because the screen time's out. Alright, wake up. There it goes. I should someday get a tablet. Okay, so that's supposed to be this way. And then this goes like this way. Alright, and then those will line up with that. And that's the M316s. That's that one. Come here. I think there will probably be a few extra screws from that in that regard. There we go. That feels such a proper little bed. Nice and tight. There we go. And that'll probably sit like that. Yeah. Okay. Right, that's that piece. I'm just gonna get me a drink of tea here. Okay. Okay, so the other two bolts are for this. Right. And then that will go in like that. That's it. That will line up right in there. That's it. Nice and even, because it's got a little raised section in the printed part that locks it into a little groove as you're tightening it down. There we go. That's going nicely. I can see why they have them printed with such heavy infill. I mean, the typical printing for these are 4 walls, 5 top, 5 bottom, and 40% infill. And you think, well, with ABS, smaller parts like this are going to be almost solid, and they kind of are, and now I can understand why. Okay, so that's that. Right. Now I need a part off of here. Put that already aside. Now I need this end of it, I believe. So, come on. That's it. That's it. Now I can put that away for now. And that'll go over here. Now, what are these screws for this? Okay, so the other end I can leave in. This is the ones I need for the, I think these are going to be M3 something. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so I need M316. Now I'm just going to take a moment to move my heated insert tool out of the way and get this little box that where the heated bed and carriage come in out of my way. Because again, I'm one of those, I don't have a lot of room, but I do tend to manage quite well with this. Those are my printed parts. And I'll probably end up bumping the camera stand, but here actually, because I'm going to need that shortly. I'm sure of it. Okay, let's put these excess extrusions away. Away. Okay, so I need that, and I need, do I already have them out here? In 3, 6, in 2, 6, in 13, 10, no. That means they're in this bag. They will be in here somewhere. Those are M340. I need M3 16s. That's it. So those ones, M3 16. I'm just might as well leave those ones out. I need 2 of those. Now, I am going to do something because I was noticing just briefly in the guide, they actually say remove both of these for the moment. Now, to give you an idea, I am actually bouncing between the official Voron guide and FYSETC's little video they did for the version 1 of this, and mainly to see what the difference was that they had versus one of the official guides, yeah? And to remove both ends, but this one you save with the drag chain. So, now, with this here, this will go like this. Come on. Doesn't help when my nose is running either. There we go. That's it. And then that goes here like that. Oops. Come on. That's it. That's one. There we go. And there's a little bit of play. You'll be able to do adjustment up and down when it's time. Just for fine tuning everything. That'll do. Here we go. I'm liking how that contrasts. Okay. Okay, so what's next? Okay. So the rest of this, I can just save in its box. Right. I need the, I think these are M2 for this bit. It's M2, is that M2 or M3? M2.6. That's these little bad boys here, I thought so. The one we have loads of them. So M2.6 socket head screws. And this is what's going to hold this to the linear rails. So we need 8 of these. This is, like I said, this is why I didn't want to do this the other day, because I was really not feeling it. My head was a bit fuzzy, and it's the one thing you don't want with a build like this. If you miss one step, you know, along the way, even if it's only a minor one, you will have to take apart everything to fix it later on, and that's not always very fun. So there we go. That's the little baggie for the other excess screw, so I'm going to put that away. You know, and if you're very meticulous, very detail oriented, you take your time, read things several times if you have to, get a video, you know, cross-reference the two, by all means, because it just means that when you get done with this build, it'll work the first time, not the 7th or the 8th time where you've had to take it apart that many times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more. I probably could just use my little tweezers for this, but it is a little slower doing it that way. So let's get these in there. I'm sure that's at M26. Let me read that again, because I'm now questioning this, especially since they do not appear to be long enough. I had a funny feeling. I was thinking, wait a second, this looks like 8mm stuff here. Like you're going to need an 8mm bolt. Let me go ahead and, this is again, if I'm misreading stuff, this is just another hint of, okay, time to take some more break. Is there any other M2s over here? No, okay. Let me just reread that section. Just put these away. Yeah, it wouldn't be so bad if I had something where I could flip between the two things, which would be interesting, but yeah. Now see, the official Voron guide doesn't have the details for this, because they expected that you're going to use the 15-15 extrusion method. So let me check this other reference. Bring up the quality a bit and go full screen. Okay. Yep, I was right. They're M2-8. I thought I misread that. Okay. Those are M3, M3. Bunch of M2 nuts. Copper pillar. So into 6 M340s, M3 nuts, M12s. I might as well start putting most of these nuts and bolts over here. That's M2 6s. Okay, so this is a bit strange. I have a feeling that this might be the difference. Oh, here we go. Into 8. That's it. That's the one. That's what I needed. I was starting to worry there. I was like, oh, yeah, I think I'm only going to go so far with this tonight. Because clearly my head and my eyes are just not reading as well as they could be doing. Now let's just test this first. That's this way. That's better. Just a little bit through. Yep. That's exactly what we needed. So, apologies again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Okay, now in this case we don't need this one, we need the smaller one. That's it. Better. I can definitely tell there's going to have to be some adjustment here. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some adjustment. I don't think the 58 millimeters is exactly working with this unless I'm just ever so slightly off. But that means also resquaring, retramming. No big deal. There we go. That's it. Such tiny little things. There we go. Last 4. So let's run this up. I can take these little whops out now because those stops up at the top will obviously get them even. Nice and tight. That's it. Come on. There we go. That's that. It's just the odd angle. Right, now tighten these down. That's it. 2 more. There we go. Now, just for the sake of this, now because this has at least one stop, I should be able to pop these loose. It just feels like it's just slightly dragging. So let's do something. Let's just do like that. See how that boned? That's not good. Is that? This needs to come toward me a bit. Not a lot. Means that one's a little off. Okay. I think centering this is going to be a little bit more fun than I thought. I must have got this a little bit wrong on the first day. Little apologies for the interruption. Seems that the gimbal decided to have a battery go flat. So, off we go again. Now, I was trying to get this to where I believe it was correct again. because it seemed that this didn't quite match up, so I figured I must have got a measurement wrong on day one. So let's just double check that. It's 58 millimeters on this side. That would be right there. That should be right there. And I'm just gonna make sure that it stays square at that 58 millimeters. That's better. Now, this side. Let's just move these out of the way for the moment. This is the problem with having small space. Okay. Sorry about that. 58. There we go. Double check here. 58. Yep. Okay. Now I can lock this down. What's interesting though is that I'm in firm belief that there might be something. Okay, so that's square. Okay. That maybe this is a little bit off. I don't know why I think that. Just put that back on for now. That's better. There we go. Now this can go back. See what I mean about if there's something just a little bit off, or you get something just a little bit wrong, you have to go back a few steps. And hopefully, if it happens, you catch it early. Okay, that should not be moving like that. I wonder if these are just not straight. I know it's not the rails being off center, but it makes me wonder about these. There we go. can that be? Okay. This is interesting. 58. 58. 59. It's not matching up. There's definitely something wrong. And it's got to be down to this. That must be the difference when it comes to these. I can tell that this is slightly off, so I'm going to have to work on that. So it's 59. It's as if it should be like 58 and a half. That actually makes me think it should be like 58 and a half. Definitely going to follow up with them on that. Okay. Looking through this again. I guess we'll go ahead and get ourselves forward from this, and then I can tram it up. So I believe the next bit requires this and some self-tapping screws that are here somewhere. There they are. That's the ones. Just gonna drop that down a little bit. Those are little crosshead. There we go. So I need to get my little tiny screwdriver. Where is it? That's it. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. And this has to go this way. And you screw this in from the back. I believe. You flip that over, actually. Go that way, that way. That's it. That's one. There we go. Okay. Get that ready. Now that is going to bug me a little bit. Let's just see how that feels now. Yeah, see, that feels better, so I think it is going to be a case of move that whole carriage over a 1/2 millimeter at some point. Okay. Alright, so next step. If I'm right, this will need a couple of M3 and M3 nuts. Yep. Yep, M3 nuts. I was right. So 2 M3, and how big is the screw for that? How big is that? That's the thing. I need to see that, because they even did this particular part different than the original. M3 eighths. M3 eighths. That's 16s. M3 10. M3 8. Here we go. And I need 2 of each. The original part, actually, that is in the video from the version 1, I'm guessing that was one of their upgrades to bring it up to the release one, version 1.1, because this was only just from here over, so it was only just this part. They didn't have a secondary security, and I'm guessing what would happen is it would flex a little bit, and they probably changed it, and I can hear my voice going, so I'm probably going to call it here in a moment. Do apologize. I probably really shouldn't be doing these while I'm not overly well, but I want to get these done because I'm very excited about this build, but I also don't want to mess it up. I want this thing to really just shine the way I know it can. go, that's one. This is like putting T-nuts, except a little bit more fun. There we go. Just a little bit. I almost have to get these to go flat like that. There we go. That's the one. Right, flat up against there. That's our Z end stop. There's that. Okay, and I think this is where I'm going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. So I will probably be just including this in my first part of the videos. Apologies on that, but yeah, definitely don't want to mess this up, and clearly this cold is kicking my little backside. So there we go. At least that's a lot more what it should be, and hopefully the next time I'll be able to get this into a cube. Okay, now that there's been a bit of rest and recuperation, it's time to continue. So, moving along, need to remove the H profiles. Which is funny because I think it was only done to get these square and locked in. Yeah? So that's that. So that's one H profile. There's that one. There we go. And this works out, obviously, because the carriage now holds that. Now, I believe I need some M3 nuts, because there's some preloading to do. Yeah, still a little sniffly, but definitely a lot better than I've been. Okay, so, yeah, some M3 nuts. And let me see where these all go. Looking at the PDF, so we have two in the top. There we go. And then one here. It's a bit finicky. Maybe this is a better way. That's it. Now, I think there's some in the bottom. And how many do I need down there? 2 down here. That's that. Come on. Two in there. And I believe there's one that goes in the bottom. Or is it 2? It's actually 2, so I need 1 more. This is the fun part, because if you don't preload these now, you will get stuck at a later point. So, lifting this carefully up so that I don't lose any of the ones that are in there. That's 1. There we go. That's it. And you'll pardon me if I periodically have a drink. I've got some orange juice to keep me going. So, now we need our rails. Yeah, okay, so those and the E. So I need these and the other 2 E rails. Just drop that. I'm horrible with this. So here's our 2 rails that we put together the other day, and we need the other 2 E rails for the quantity of 4. So we're going to take that one and we're going to lock that in place. So let me put these off to the side for the moment. Let's lock these, and I'm going to change this a little bit because I was noticing you really don't need this many bolts, and I know I went a bit overzealous at the beginning of the build, but I'm just feeling in the back of my head that there's going to be a reason why not to. So that, skip that. There. So I can take out this one. I'm just going to take these out. Now, if you have enough bolts in your kit and you want to add these after the build is done and there's enough left over to do it, then by all means, because this is a good place for them. But while this is going on, you kind of need those extra slots, and I noticed that it's really quite good to have the gaps that they have. So that. Actually, this one can come up at 1. Hold on. That feels like that might be a bit not good. There we go. That's it. There we go. Right, so screw, no screw, screw, no screw. Put one of those back in there. That's better. And then this one comes out, as does this one. There we go. Let's get our tweezers. There we go. Now, might as well put these away. These are your M2 6mm. There we go. Right, put that back up there. Okay, and move this up to here, and move this up to here. And that way it keeps them steady. Now, so we don't lose our preloads, this one I want here. Now, there's a hole somewhere here. There it is. So we want that right up to there so that it can reach the bolt. And that's the wrong one. The tramming obviously can be done afterward, just to make sure everything's square. For now, that will do. Okay. And then this one will go over here. It's just a little bit. There we go. I believe these are our other two. Let me flip these around. Something in the back of my head says funny. Yeah. I thought there was something funny about this when I was going through the extrusions. I just need to double check these. Yep. Those are supposed to be that way. Yeah, okay. These are the other E extrusions. These are our two side ones. So I'm being a numpty. That's what we needed. Because that is what we needed. And those will go like that. Okay. So I need to get that on there now. And this is why you had to preload those ones earlier, because otherwise you'd never get this in. is. And that locks those two preloads in the bottom and in the back, so they're not going to get lost. Right, get a drink here. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we need to do there's some more preloads. So I need the M3 nuts. Alright, where's those? I need these. There's about 7 of them. Ish. And I need the M3 10mm. That's not it. These can go over here for now. M2, M316, M2, M3, that's it, M3 10mm. Alright. As I figured, roughly there on all of these ends. Go. Now, what am I needing to preload here? Okay. I need some on the back as well. So, I need some more back there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, like that. And what is that? Oh, it is. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let me check that I got, yeah, that to there. And it's time to put these profiles back on, except this time they go back here. And so this will also help square these up. I'm still going to go over this with my engineer's square to be sure that each one of them ultimately is square, but this just gets it kind of together, if that makes sense. That's why. That's that one. That's more like it. Starting to almost look like a printer, sort of. At least the kinematics of one. So, looking this over, so the range is 37 millimeters is achieved. Oh, I see. Double checking this against the other reference I have. Alright, let's just make sure everything's square, because there's a little wobber here I'm not overly pleased about, because it's not sitting on anything. That's fine. Just squaring things up. Perfect, 38 millimeters. Perfect. Good. Beautiful. Okay. So Need some more M3 nuts, and they go where? Oh, what was that? M3-8s. Those are M310s. Here's our nuts. M3-8s. Here we go. And where does this go? It goes at the bottom of there. Okay. And this is where we get the other half of this out again. And now I can put that away into here until we need it later. Of these, and I just had them. There they are. This will go here. There we go. How far up did they like that? Just about even with the extrusion. Okay. That's it. There we go. Right. Okay. Right. That's that. Okay, so I actually need one of our panels now, which I probably should have predicted. I can put this away for now. I think I should be good because I've been using this and it seems to fit in a lot more places. So I'm just going to put that tool away. specs I have for it. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so I need my panels, which are under here, because I've kind of swapped these around from the order which the unboxing was, mainly because most of the stuff that you started off right away with was in the bottom one. Let's hold it with that. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now I need this one down here. Go. That. There we go. That can just go in there for now. This can go on top. So we need this one. So this is the one we need, and this will go in here. Will it? No, not there. I'm just double checking. Another one like that. No. So how do they figure? Let's just look through this, because that looks like the one. I should have written some labeling on this. How do they figure? Oh, that's because I'm an idiot. Ta-da! That's why. Like so. Ta-da! Let's see. I wonder if I can take the stuff off of this yet. Yeah, I should be able to. Yep. Okay. Just think at some point, when I get some laser engraving going, I should be able to cut acrylic like this. Because it's only 3mm. Oh, that's pretty. Beautiful. Yeah. That's one. So let's put the little bin over here. That's it. That's that. And so this goes in like so. So I need to that's what I needed. So I need these nuts. I need 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. And the same on the other. Where's the nuts? There they are. So I need 3 more on this side. 1, 2, 3. And we need 4 on the bottom of each. So I need 2, 3. I need 4 on the bottom of each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. There we go. One, 2. This is like using the what they call hammerhead nuts in a way. Yeah, you would use that with V-slot. There's 4 on that side. I think I'm going to play this safe and use these because my fingers are just sausages. go. Right, what's next? Which profile is that? Okay, what locks that in? I need 3 on. Oh, I need more nuts. So carefully. So I don't lose those. 3 here, 3 here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Yeah, time to break out the tweezers again. It's 1, 2, 3. 1. I figure there's going to be some more on the top. Yeah, I think there's going to be some more on this side and this side. And that'll all be because of the panels, which makes total sense. Let's double check. How many? Oh, maybe not. So I need profile B. Where are you, B? There you are. That's a few of these. Let's just see how these go. M310s. 16. M312. M36. M310s. Okay, and we need 2 of these. Actually, I don't need one of these just yet. I see. I think I see. Yeah, because there's only 2 of these, and I bet you it's those ones. And I need 4 nuts. Preload. There we go. Those 4. And which way do those go? I bet you they go down. Yeah, thought so. Face down. And that will end up going like that. As I thought. D profiles. Yep, and this is to the bottoms. Yep, and then that means that goes that way. That's starting to look like a printer. I can put these away. All right. Still something crooked, definitely. Yeah, a little bit crooked there, which means I have a bit of trimming to do. Oh, was it off? Was it? Yeah, there's something still slightly off, but hey ho. those slide back. That's why it felt funny. Just a wee bit more. Nearly there. Yeah, I'm a bit of a OCD person when it comes to certain things. Why is that? There we go. Perfect. Right, now I believe that is square. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, I think we're at least at a stopping point, because the next stages, I believe, are going to be your x-axis and a few other aspects. But just double checking. 3 there, 3 there, 2 there. Time to check all the preloads, because if you get too far down the line here, you're going to be stuffed. So 3, 3, 2, 4, 4, any others? Yeah, 2, 4, 4. And then we have 3 here. Double checked. And then we have 3 there. Yeah. We got 2 down in there. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, so we've got 2 there. There's our 2 preload there. And then we should have 4 in the back. 2 there, 2 there, 2 here. That's just my dry box saying, hey, I'm done. Just double check the last bit of this preload. Yeah. Okay. I think I've actually achieved this. Just double check one other thing. Come on. Where's that page? There it is. Yeah. And 4 in the back and 1 at the top. Yeah. So 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 here, we're all good. Preloads are done. Everything else is together. So that's going to be our stopping point today, because tomorrow there's or maybe even the next day, there's a lot more to do. So I'm going to get this all together as one initial starting point build so that you can see the journey to this point. And that is that. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next bit. And just so you can see what it looks like now, there's our first bit.